Shalom, family.
Shalom, family.
First, I want to apologize for having to keep going over back and forth with this issue dealing with Kepha and Zakiah. It's not our intentions to have to go back and forth like this, but we are in a position where we have to do this because these people are attacking our ministry.
And our family.
And our family, that's right. And so, that being said, for those of you who don't want to listen to all of this stuff, we understand. But we have to do this video to address all the lies that they are spewing out of their mouth. So, what I want to say is that, you know, the latest video that they did, and other ones that were on the land came together just to show you the wickedness behind this thing. They chose a platform and an Israelite group that has proven that have actually shown a lot of hate toward me and my family. You know,
they chose one of the camps.
Yeah, one of the camps
that have in the past have done videos about us and expressed disdain for us. I'm talking militant camps.
That's right.
They didn't choose a righteous platform. They didn't choose mutual friends that we have that are righteous people.
That's right.
What they've done is they've chose people who were already enemies of us.
That's right.
And so that is a complete violation of Torah with how they are handling things.
That's right.
And what's strange about it, as we listen to all of these people give their supposed testimonies, all of this stuff were things that we had already discussed on the land.
That's right.
The way it was supposed to be. And they're trying to say if you go to your brother and they hear you, you've gained your brother. If they don't hear you, blah, blah, this. They are misusing scriptures. We all sat down and we talked about these.
We had meetings and everything. We talked about a lot of the stuff that they put in the video. We sat down and we had meetings about this stuff. We had discussions about these things. Mm-hmm. And so to have to come back and do a video about this stuff again, it's very frustrating.
Yes.
You know?
Well, what we see happening here is because the last video that Kepha and Zakiah did where they were interviewed by Yosef, we pretty much tore down all of the lies and the false statements and the false witness that they put out there. And so they got a little bit frustrated. And so they decided that they were going to go and stir up people who actually left us in Shalom.
That's right. Sister Tina had left us in Shalom. Mm-hmm. Same with Tobiyahu and Danielle had left us in Shalom. And so they were peace, but they went out and they stirred up everybody by telling them lies and everything, and to get them all riled up with a bunch of lies. And so we're going to deal with a lot of these lies. Now, if you remember the first video, Yosef was doing the interview. Mm-hmm. And the new video, they're coming against Yosef now in this new video, mm-hmm. and talking about him pretty much. And so, basically, Brother Yosef, this is what we were trying to tell you. When you called me, and I told you, I said, brother, trust me, you don't have all the facts. I told you, I said, just hold up. I said, you don't have all the facts. And he was like, well, some families were hurt, a lot of facts. I said, you don't know that. I said, I'm telling you right now, we're going to tackle everything that they're saying. But, and he had misinformation. He didn't have all the information. Therefore, when we came out with our video, what did he do? He took his down.
And
apologized to us. Well, what we're trying to say to you, brothers, that this is what we're trying to tell you all along, that there are two sides to the story, and that they're twisting things and telling lies on us. We tried to tell you this. And what did they do? Now they have tossed you under the bus.
I'm going to read the message that you sent to them, which is why when you put up your apology video, we didn't really see it as a true apology, because these are the things that you were saying behind the scenes, and we saw other things. And as you watch this video, in the continuation of this video, you'll see that all these people that Kepha and Zakiah were claiming were so hurt by us, you will see that it wasn't what you think at all. we didn't really want to have to do this because some of the things that when we share our side of the story, it may be a little embarrassing for some of the people, and we didn't really want to have to do that.
Yeah.
But we have been left with no choice but to share our side of the story.
Yeah.
You see, when we discussed a lot of these, I'm going to say this, very minute issues at the land, when we discussed these things, these were things that happened within the community. What was the need to blast it all out on YouTube?
That's
right.
That's
because Keitha and Zakiya have an agenda. They were upset that all of their lies disintegrated and went up in smoke. And so they wanted to say, well, we got to pull others in on it. And a lot of what the people say are repeated text, things that they're repeating over and over again to actually add more element to it. I mean, and they're going play by play with very small things, like nothing was getting done. Okay, what we're going to do first is we're going to address all of the things that they were claiming that people were so hurt by. Okay, first I'm going to just give you a short bullet list of these things. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to read the statement to Yosef first. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Thank you, sweetheart. But this is what Yosef said to Keitha. This is in that video that has been
put it on the screen.
Okay, we'll put it on the screen. That's in the video that's been posted by one of these camps that have already shown hatred for us over the years and over our ministry. I mean, they even put our address out there. That's the point to where Keitha and his wife have taken this. You see, we have gotten death threats in the past from some of these camps. And so you all have taken this too far. You're playing a game with your own soul because of your disdain for us. We have children, Keitha and Zakiya, and you all have taken this too far with this lie and this falsehood. And we're going to show and explain all of this. But Yosef, to you, brother, your apology, it didn't even resonate with us because of stuff like this. It says, I know, and you were talking to Keitha and his family, I know you and your family felt like I did you a disservice, and I would feel the same way. You all did not bash them in that video, and I probably should never have taken it down. I refuse to let Watchman and his wife look like they are squeaky clean. I am about to re-upload the video. If they can't apologize to you and the people on that land, why the hell am I apologizing? And then this scripture and Keitha's response, Ecclesiastes 6, for some man is a friend for his own occasion, but will not abide in the day of trouble. He says, I am very hurt and disappointed with how you handled things. You hurt me and my wife. I love you, Ak, but I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. Plus, Yah is scrolling kind of slow. Witness. Plus, Yah is my witness. We'll pay you back for everything you have done.
It's a threat, pretty much.
So basically, he is threatening Yosef. Okay. Then he made some other statements where he says to Yosef and to us that judgment is coming. You can best believe that. And so,
and what Brother Yosef did, Brother Yosef, I'm gonna just address you quickly. For what you did, I was totally against Torah, man. You know what I'm saying? As far as, you saying that you sowed discord, brother, because you knew all of this stuff way before ahead of time, and then you're going to turn around and tell me, you're saying that you sought the Most High before you did the interview and things like that, and then you turned around, and said, all right, I'm going to do the interview, and then turned around and said that, the Most High told you that, you was wrong. It seems like to me, man, because a double-minded person is always unstable, and that's what I really believe that you are. You know what I'm saying? Because you just ran away from this battle, like, you just left me and my Ishal out there hanging. You know what I'm saying? Like, for what? I don't know. I mean, did they pay you off? What is it? Is it because of your character? You know what I'm saying? Your ministry? You know what I'm saying? What was it? I don't understand. Because I'm not buying all that. You know what I'm saying? The Most High, told you this and told you that. See, this is the problem, you know what I'm saying, with Israel. You know what I'm saying? Because they hide behind, you know what I'm saying, it's like they bring Christianity with them when they leave it, and they bring it over here, saying with the truth and put a Hebrew twist behind it. It's sort of like when the children of Israel, saying was led out by the Most High, saying from Mitzrayim. A lot of them sprung and wanted to take the things that they was doing back in Mitzrayim, back in Egypt. It's the same thing. It wasn't so in discord, brother, because you brought it to brother Watchman Yahoo, and you brought it to Deborah. You brought these charges of saying that me and my wife said. You brought these charges from the other families, and you brought it to their attention, and you gave them the opportunity to talk about it on a platform. This is your words. You brought it to their attention. You brought the charges. You did what Torah command us to do. You did that. I'm saying this is what you told me. What they did and turned around and said was, look, well, we don't want to do the platform and this, that, and the third, because they know the truth. And you know the truth. And what you did was strictly against Torah. I was in Ecclesiastes, chapter 6 the other day, and I was looking at the scripture, and in chapter 6, verse 8, this one really describes, you and a lot of other people. I'm going to read it real quick. It says, for some man is a friend for his own occasion and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. And that's you, that's what you did. Verse 12, I'm going to go down real quick. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee. It will hide himself from thy face. 13, separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friends. 14, a faithful friend is a strong defense, and he have found such, and one hath found a treasure. And that's what I thought that I had. I'm saying a friend that had a strong defense. I'm saying that wasn't going to run from the spiritual. This is spiritual war. I'm saying this ain't nothing physical. This is spiritual. Brother called me yesterday, man, and it made me feel better because, we read Proverbs 27 and 28, and, when you take the time out, you go read it out. I suggest you go read it because judgment is coming. Chastisement is going to come to you. I trust and believe. You know what I'm saying? And judgment is going to come to Watchman, Yahoo, and Akoti Deborah. And that's fact. And with that, I say shalom.
And so it sounds like he is being threatening to both of us. You see, and this is what we were trying to say. Yeah. And we rebuke that demon right now in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Right. We rebuke that. No weapon that is formed against us shall prosper.
And every tongue that rises against us in judgment, Yah shall condemn. Now, brother, like I said before, they threw you right under the bus. Kiefer is very upset, okay? And he got you believing that we owe these people that were on our property an apology, those that were there, okay? And because he told you all these lies, and then he pulled them together so that these were disgruntled people that were upset because we had had some meetings with them, and things went a certain way in the meetings, and they may have had a little bit bitterness in them as a result of it, but it wasn't nothing major. If you listen to their testimonies and you listen to what they're saying, what Sister Tina saying, and what Achiyahu saying, we didn't do anything to them. Anything, but we gonna cover that.
Okay, we're gonna kind of go in the list. In the order of how things were said in the video. Danielle and Tobiyahu, I'm not even exactly sure why they are even involved in this, but I have an idea. Okay, like we said, the last time we met with them, we left them in shalom. We all left in shalom, hugging. Sister Danielle apologized because basically there was some information that was shared.
That's right.
About our community, in which we already went over that, okay?
Right.
We already went over that. She explained what she shared. She apologized, and we left them in shalom.
Yeah, so I would definitely say that, so for the last, I think it was 2 days, the first one, well, I guess earlier, we had received some emails. Facebook message. I know my wife had mentioned the ones that she had received from Bora.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it just appeared to be very random. The first was reference to saying, hey, I saw your car in Fulton, And then the second one was, what did the second one say?
The second one, let me just pull it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I could paraphrase. Basically, she was saying, Danielle, I spoke to your father twice back in November, and he wanted me to speak with you. Hold on, let me just have him pull it up. It's better because right now I am very tired, and I'd rather not go by memory. Yeah, just log me in. And in fact, it should be down there anyway. Did you pull that up right here, honey?
Yes, you're right. We did make
it should be right there. All right. Go up. No. Go down a little bit. Go down some more. Go now.
It's going to be somewhere else.
Probably. Keep going up. Sorry. Okay, here we go. So Sunday, it shows here at 8:27 a.m. That was this past Sunday. She put, Danielle, last year I spoke with your dad twice in November, and he wanted me to talk with you. If you're interested in knowing what we talked about, we could discuss it. I thought that was weird. I mean, we're in the month of June, and why would she just out of nowhere mention something about having spoken to my dad twice in November and I guess whatever they talked about? I just thought that was odd. So I ended up calling my dad on Sunday to confirm some of the content of that conversation. I'm supposed to be giving him another phone call back, but we were able to talk about some things on Sunday, and I'm already now, based on my father's report, that she definitely was twisting certain things out of context.
Shalom, this is Tina Scott.
And so apparently, and I think I know what happened, okay, I'm going to share an email, or I'm sorry, a message that Sister Danielle sent me on Facebook, which was May 31st. And so we're talking just days ago, okay? And it was a simple message. She just said, Shalom, we're selling our minivan. Would you or another family you know be interested? And I said, what's the asking price of Poti? She says, $2,900 or best offer. And I said, what is the year, make, and model? And she responds, and I said, gotcha, we'll think on it. Shalom to you and your family. And then she says, same to you and your family. And so a day later, it looked like we saw her van around the corner at Kifa and Zakia's house.
Right.
And so I messaged her. I said, we thought we saw your van in Fulton today. And she didn't respond to that. And so I sent her another message because I noticed that day that we saw her van, what looked like her van in their driveway. I noticed she unfriended me on Facebook. And I said, there's a pattern going on. A lot of people that we know mutually, they are saying things too, and we have no idea what they're saying to everyone, although some people have told us some of the things that they're saying, and they have listened to us, and so we're saying to ourselves, they are going around telling bold-faced lies to people. But there was a conversation that I had with Danielle's dad, in which I said, well, Danielle, last year I spoke to your dad, and if you were interested, I can let you know what we talked about. We could discuss it. And that was the reason why, because during the time when we found out, which I'm not going to go into all the details of how we found out that Danielle had spoken to some people in the community. I'm not trying to go there because, like I said, we left them in shalom. When we were discussing things in the community as to why things were happening, we mentioned in the discussion those who had spoken out in the community. Now these people are trying to say that's slander. So now what they're trying to say is, if you have a meeting and you mention a person's name and this person has already basically confirmed that they did say something, they confirmed that they did say something, and they explain what it is they said, that is not slander.
They're calling that slander.
They're calling it slander. That's what Kifa and Zakia are calling this, okay?
And Achiyahu.
And Achiyahu as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're gonna move past the Danielle part, because what they said was very minimal in the video. I will say this though. Danielle and her husband Luciendo, Tobiyahu, that's his Hebrew name. they are very professional people. So I don't understand why they are allowing themselves to be linked up with one of these camps like this. It seems to be,
these camps are very militant. You get linked up with one of these camps.
it seems very out of character for them
Yes.
to be involved in something like this.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and address
Sister Tina.
Sister Tina's complaints.
Now let me say something here, okay? First of all, Sister Tina confirmed in the video how she got there. Just like we said in the first place, how she got there.
How she
Okay.
got here to
How
our
she got
land,
here
how
to-
she got with us.
How she got with us and how she came to our land. She didn't receive any phone call from us. We found out about Sister Tina through another brother.
Yes.
And this brother, he brought her here, and we were kind of like, oh man, you know, it was like she was in our face. He brought her here, and so it was kind of one of them things where
we didn't want to turn her away.
we didn't want to turn her away. She was really nice and all of this.
At that time.
At that time, yeah, she was nice. And so what ended up happening was, we said, okay, well, she filled out a questionnaire and everything, and so we just left it at that for a minute, you know. Then the next thing you know, we get a call that this brother's on his way to where we live.
No, they were actually already there. They called us and said, we're in such and such.
Yeah.
And we were like,
And we have her trailer. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. No calling us, letting us know, hey, I'm buying a trailer, I'll be down there. Can I come? It was none of that. It was like, hey, I'm over here where y'all land is. I got my trailer. I'm ready to get set up. And we're like, we ain't even on the property yet. You knew we wasn't on the property yet.
and so basically we ended up, we were like, well, no one's there yet. We weren't even ready to start accepting people.
Yeah, we wasn't even ready to go there yet. So
And so basically we were kind of forced to just let her stay here at our home in our yard. We have a really large yard. And
yeah.
so
we put a trailer in the backyard there, right?
But what, before we go on with all of this, I kind of wanted to backtrack a little and just say right up front, remember Joseph and Kepha are claiming that we hurt all these people on the land.
Right.
I'm going to give you the things where they claim we hurt Sister Tina. She didn't like where her trailer was placed.
Yep.
Okay, that's one of the things. And she wanted someone to unlock the gate for her on the days that she went to work.
Early in the morning at 4 or 5 in the morning.
And so these are the main two things that they said we did to hurt Sister Tina.
To hurt her.
This is why we were saying to you, Brother Joseph, all of this stuff they're saying to you is all of these people are hurt, but they're not telling you what the claims are.
That's right.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the placement of her trailer. Okay, we're going to talk about that because, like we always say, there is two sides to every story.
Right.
Okay, we never hurt Sister Tina. As a matter of fact, before we get to the trailer incident, we're going to backtrack to when she was here at our home before she even made it to the land.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to talk about that because I think it's very important that we talk about that. When Sister Tina first got here to our house, and if I can, I'm going to try to find the happy picture of her and our daughter Hannah when we were out there working in the garden. They were picking green beans, okay? I'm going to try to find it. If I don't, just visualize it, okay? Things were so nice when she first got here that we actually told the kids, isn't it like having a second Nana here?
That's right.
A second grandma? That's what we said to the children.
Because our grandmother is here, my wife's mother's here.
Yeah, my mother. Yeah, so that's what it was like at first, right? And then I'm going to tell you the specific incident that changed things.
Yeah.
This is what changed things. One day, Sister Tina was sitting out there at the dining room table. I was in the office, and I get up and I go out there, and she's literally sitting at the table. She had a piece of paper in her hand, and she was crying. And I looked at her, I said, Sister Tina, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I sit there in front of her, I pull up a chair and sit in front of her, and she's just crying, and she showed me something on the paper. There was some paperwork that she had filled out that was given to her by Danielle concerning how she should eat herbs and stuff like that. And so when she showed me what it was, she says, I don't know what I'm supposed to be eating, right? And she's crying. I start crying. I grab her hands, and I said, "It's okay, Sister Tina. It's okay." I was telling her, "Don't cry, don't cry." And I said, "Let's pray." So I'm holding her hands. We're both sitting there crying, and I start praying for her, because she just looked really upset and distraught over what she was reading on this paper here. And so after I'm done praying with her, I continue to talk with her. Then my husband comes out of the office, okay? He notices the crying as well. He's like, "What's going on?" And so when she explains to him what's going on, he says, "Come on, Sister Tina. We have a recliner out there in our living room area." And so he told Sister Tina, "Just come and sit down here and relax, okay?"
After I prayed for her.
After he prayed for her. And he put his headphones on her. He played some of our meditation CDs that we have. He played that for her. And he gave her, I believe, some tea or something. And we told her just relax. And she probably slept, I would say maybe, I don't remember how long she slept, but she just kind of relaxed for a while. Okay? And after that, I noticed that she started changing towards me. Okay? She would sit there and she would just have this look on her face that we never noticed before.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Baby, I think we should talk to Sister Tina, And she just went on to explain. She said, "Well, sometimes I just have this serious look on my face. I mean, that's just how I am. People at work, when I used to be a nurse somewhere, used to say that to me all the time, no big deal." I said, "Well, you sure? Is there anything else that we should know about?" And she says, "Well, I don't think y'all feed me right."
Now let me say something to you, right? She said, "I don't think y'all feed me right." And I'm sitting there saying to myself, well, wait a minute. If you don't think we're feeding you right, now we're having dinner. Us, me and my wife and my kids and my mother-in-law, we cook for ourselves. And we would see you sitting there and we would say, "Sister Tina, would you like some?" And you would say, "Yes." And so we would give you something that we were already making for ourselves. So we wasn't people that were hired to cook for you or anything.
See, the thing was, Sister Tina, you remember you already had some of your own prepared jarred meals, and you would bring those in and eat those, right? Or you would eat in your trailer. And so the thing was, out of politeness, if we're eating something,
we offering it.
We're just offering it. You're not obligated to eat what we cook.
That's right.
Okay, because you were preparing your own meals. And so we just thought that was a bit strange.
Yeah, for you to say, I don't think y'all feeding me right.
We just thought it was strange.
Yeah.
And so that type of attitude continued. And I remember one day we were standing out there in front of your trailer.
Now let me say this too. We try to eat things according to the dietary laws. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we ain't got nothing crazy that we're serving. It's good food. It's just that it's food that she probably can't have because of her condition, basically.
Mm-hmm. And so one day, I can put this down now.
Okay.
One day, I'm not sure if we were going somewhere or we were coming back.
Yeah.
But we saw her out there by her trailer, and we went to say something to her. And as we were speaking to her, I just leaned in to give her a hug. And she just stood there with her arms to her side, and her face looking like this. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, I noticed it right away. So my wife walked away. I was like, a sense of like something's wrong here, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, right? Well, we began to notice that more and more, even once we left the house here and we went to the land, that now she's a total different person, totally acting different toward me, my wife, and my kids. Even my kids,
So what happened was, when we got around other people on the land, Achiyahu and his family, and at this time Brother Yedidah had gotten there as well, she was continuing with this type of behavior. And so I was frustrated. And as she stated in the video, I started to cry because I said, this is not what I was looking for. We're looking for our people to have cohesion. And this attitude, I mean, we're starting
work
off.
together, and people having attitudes towards you, towards your kids. One time our kids were outside, and they said it in unison, "Good morning, Sister Tina." And she totally ignored them. They said it out loud. Now, mind you, I have a lot of kids. So then my wife said they probably didn't hear y'all. So she probably didn't hear y'all. So then they said it again. "Good morning, Sister Tina." And what she do?
She said, "Oh, hi."
Oh, hi. And so we were like, okay, something is definitely wrong. So we need to talk.
So when we talked, we
had a meeting.
The whole community, we came together because this was something that was happening in the community. So we all sat down and talked about it. And as she stated in her video, I started to cry. And she's saying, that made me look like the villain. No one was trying to make you look like a villain.
That's
We
right.
were just expressing that this is not what we expect in this community, especially when we invited you into our home and we invited you to our land. You know, after you were brought here by Larry, we just pretty much just took you in because you were in our face, you see? And so when we had this meeting, and when it was Tina's turn to talk, after she said that she felt like she was the villain, when it was her turn to talk, she said, well, everybody here got somebody except me. I mean, y'all together, y'all together, and I ain't got nobody. And Brother Yedidah looks at her and said, well, Tina, I don't have anyone either, you know? And so that was the issue that Tina was starting to have, because she and Watchman are the same age.
Yeah.
And so that explained her behavior against me and the children. She was very uncordial to us.
Wouldn't speak to my wife. She'd see me sometimes. She'd play, hi, Brother Watchman, all nice. And then she'd look at my wife and be almost like, you know? And I would be sitting there like what in the world is going on?
One time we were at the gas station and we saw her, and she goes right past me, ignores me. She sees my husband coming out of the gas station. Hey, Watchman. You see? And sometimes in the morning, if we would be outside of our trailer, she'd come outside of hers. She would say, good morning, Watchman, as if I'm invisible. And so this is one of the big issues, okay? Now, leading up to this leads up to this anger that she had over the placement of her trailer. That was one of the things that Kifa and Brother Yosef claimed that we hurt Tina on, because she wanted her trailer to be in the spot where Yadah's trailer was, and we put her trailer next to Achiyahu and his family. And so she said she felt like she should have got that spot or whatever, and we had our reason for putting her trailer next to Achiyahu and his family, because she was a woman, and then we put Yadah's trailer here, you see? And so if this is one of the things that you are saying that we hurt this woman for, that is ridiculous. That's why we were telling you to slow down, Brother Yosef, because you didn't have all the facts.
That's right.
Sister Tina was she was actually hurting our family. We weren't hurting her. And even in the midst of all of this, I was still being very cordial to her. I was still speaking to her. Sometimes I would go out of my way to say, good morning, Tina, you know, just to try to break the ice on this little thing that she had going on.
That's right.
You see? Because it's not in me to be, I'm feeling like, okay, if we're going to live on this land together, I'm going to have to make the first move, you see? And so for you to say that there's a lot of hurt people and not know what the heck the hurt is, you jumped the gun, you put this video out there, and it's brought some embarrassment to you, brother, because you did not have all the facts. The other thing, I want to say this too. She talked about when it rains, she have to step down in mud. Okay, guess what? When it rained, we all had to step down in mud, including Kifa and their trailer. So we had to put
pallets out there. Some people put rocks or whatever, and Yedidah had a tarp thing and a pallet, you know,
a rubber carpet.
Yeah.
So we all did some things to put ourselves in a position where if it rained and it was muddy, we had something to step on.
That's right.
And so to make this like some big major hurt, to where you all have blasting this meeting out on Facebook. Well, yeah, it's being shared on Facebook too, but on YouTube is ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Now, back to the day that that her trailer was brought there, right? It was time to level it. How long did it take you?
All day long. We were all day long trying to level her trailer, and we couldn't get it leveled. And so what ended up happening was it was getting late, and our children had to eat. And I was like, we didn't have nothing, no food in the camper or anything. So I'm like, we got to go to the grocery store, because I've been here. We got to go get some food for the kids, you know.
And we had to go pick up her generator
That's
from her storage.
From her storage. And so she got an attitude with us. We were like, well, Sister T, we can't level it tonight, because I got to go to the grocery store and get some food for my kids. And she had an attitude with us, because we didn't just continue to do that.
And we had already been on it for hours.
And so we're like, we'll finish leveling it tomorrow, Sister Tina. It's okay. You can. And guess what? When she first got there, because she was having issues with her trailer, where did she sleep?
She slept in one of our daughter's trailer.
That's right, with our daughters. You
see,
understand? So.
And then the thing too, I wanted to say this real quick. The children hadn't eaten, and when we explained to her what we had to do, the attitude was, to hell with your children, take care of me first.
Yes.
That was the attitude that she had, you see, and it really frustrated us. It really frustrated us.
That's right.
On top of that, we had to drive quite a ways to go to her storage unit.
Then we had to go to Walmart to get some food. And so it was just a number of things. So by the time we got back, it was dark, and we were like, man, we trying to get some food for our kids and everything.
It was almost dark.
Yeah.
Not quite almost.
Yeah, it was almost dark.
And you know what's funny about that? When we pulled up with her generator, Achiyahu sent his family over there, and we can tell that they had already been talking, because they said, we're here to get Tina's stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, it's the way they said it. See, the thing that happened here was this here. When we sat down in the meeting and was talking with Sister Tina about her attitude toward us and everything, she was sitting there just looking like a stone face, and we were telling her, Sister Tina, when we did it in a meeting with everybody, so everybody could hear it and address it, because some of them were noticing also. And so we were sitting there just talking about it. Now, when it was said and done with, I felt like the way things should have went was people should have said things to her in a certain way, so she would feel that, okay, let's not have no ill feelings toward my brother and sister. They brought me here, they let me come here on their land. We were cooking for her, we did all kinds of things for her. So we were kind of hoping that things would lighten up, but instead, Achiyahu and his family, they did what? They took her in and coddled her in this attitude that she had. They coddled her. And when they coddled her, what ended up happening was she got that much worse toward us.
It empowered her to behave this way.
That's right.
Against us. And so you can't run a community like that. If you don't resolve things, that's why the scripture says that if you do things a certain way, it will cause people to repent.
That's right.
Because they won't feel empowered.
That's right.
And what's funny too, everyone claims that they were there to help us. Now, I tell you what, this is what we did, because we had a lot on our plates. We were doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because, we were dealing with things on the land, things at the house, things here, our children, all of this kind of stuff. And everyone claims that they were there to help us, right? And so we said, well, Brother Achiyahu, can you, because she noticed in her video, she said, they passed me off to somebody else, right? We're there to help each other, right? We had already spent a lot of time trying to do this, so we said, Achiyahu, can you level her trailer?
And notice,
move to another spot, because she wanted to go to another spot. And notice how she said it never got done, but she's attributing that to us. We had already told her that your buddy Achiyahu was supposed to do it, but she is still attributing it to us. If they were there to help, why did this brother never take the time or make the time to just go ahead and move Tina's trailer? Because it seems to us that everyone was expecting us or our family to do everything. Yeah. There was even a time where we were all out just kind of congregating on the land. Our children, Achiyahu and his family, all of their children, pretty much everyone who was there at the time. Keith and his family hadn't gotten there yet. I'm not sure if the other family had gotten there either. But there was a frog under Tina's or near Tina's trailer. And she calls out, Sophia, can you come and get this frog? Now, Sophia said, sure, that's our daughter, right? We didn't have a problem with her going to get it. I'm just trying to show you how the expectation was for our family to do everything, you see. And that's what it seemed like. Tina made a remark where she had asked my husband something about her trailer, and he said, well, that's too bad. He never said that to Tina.
I never talked like that to Sister Tina. Sister Tina, you know it. I never talked like that to you. I was always polite to you and everything. I was polite to you. Even when it came down to things that you wanted done, all you'd do is come and ask somebody, and somebody would do it for you.
And so to try to put out these words, One thing I noticed that there were a few lies that you told Sister Tina, and we're going to cover those in a minute. I didn't expect you to do that. We don't understand why you allowed Kepha and his wife, Zakiya, to pull you into this. When you left in shalom. You left giving us all hugs. I mean, with the way you were towards our children, we were even surprised and shocked when you left hugging them. You grabbed little Benjamin's face and you said, bye, little Ben. I mean, so it was like you left us in shalom. And as we saw you driving off, I actually stood there and I shed tears because I felt like I said, man, Tina for the past 2 weeks have been so sweet, you know?
It's like she went back to herself the way she was when she first got here.
Yeah. And so this thing that you're doing now, we just don't understand it. We just don't understand it. Now, you talked about electricity, right? Now, from your own words in this testimony that you gave, everyone knew that our goal was to be off-grid. Everyone knew this, right? And even Achiyahu admitted in the end of his testimony that these things take time.
Trying to kind of, get ourselves established there, and, it takes time to actually get yourself going in a new state and on a community. And so...
But it seemed like you, Sister Tina, wanted everything here and now, regardless if that meant pushing our family off to the side or somebody else wait just to tend to whatever it is Tina needed at that moment.
That's right.
Before anyone hooked into the electricity at the house, we offered that to you. And you said, no, I'm going to use my generator.
You sure did.
But it sounds like in the video you are complaining about it. It was offered to you first.
But it was offered to you first, that's right. And so the thing is, it's a number of things that I'm looking at here that really shows that how you expected everyone to do everything. And what you got to understand is, we were trying to bring together a community of people who were going to be able to hold their own. Okay? Which means, hey, if you need help, fine. But hey, I'm going to try to hold my own. Now, one of the things was you went out and you got a job, and the reason for it is we want to make sure people can support themselves, because we can't support people. Okay? So if you can't support yourself, we wanted you to be able to support yourself on the community.
And we made that very clear.
And we made that very clear before anyone got there. We made that clear.
To me, that should be expected. That should be understood, because our family can't afford to do it all ourselves. We can't afford to have a whole bunch of people come to the land and we have to do everything.
That's right.
I mean, that is not what we had in mind.
That's right.
That is not what we had in mind.
So what happened was, Sister Tina had a job that she had to get up 3, 4 in the morning. She had to get up that early in the morning.
So that she could be gone by 5 or 5:30.
She had to be there, I think, at 5 or at 6 o'clock, she said. It's either 5 or 6 o'clock she had to be there. And so the thing was, she wanted someone to get up at 4 in the morning with her while she went out and turned on her generator and did all this, because it was dark. We're in the country,
But her generator was right by her door.
Right by her door, right by her trailer.
Right by her trailer.
Yeah. And so she wanted someone to get up in the morning with her, every morning with her, that she went to work.
The 2 days that she went.
Yeah, the 2 days that she went. And she wanted somebody to come over to the gate and unlock the gate for her and everything. And I just told Sister, I said, Sister Tina.
Why did you tell her that?
Yeah.
Because Brother Kepha came to you and asked you.
Yeah, Brother Kepha came to me and said, man, I got to get up at 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. And I said, well, I leave that up to you all. If you all want to do that, you're shy. If y'all want to get up and do that, that's fine. I said, but
sometimes a liar do it.
Yeah, sometimes. And so I just told Sister, I said, Sister Tina, I said that is a lot to ask somebody, to have to get up early in the morning like that to go and get the gate. Now, let me explain to you what I was trying to do with her. Okay. We are trying to think about what's going to happen in these last days, right? Things are going to get really bad, right? Now let me explain something to you. Trust me when I tell you this. It's more safe going out to that gate and opening that gate out in the country at nighttime than it is in New York City, than it is in Detroit, areas of Detroit, than it is in areas of Chicago and LA. Okay? It's way safer. Okay? We had a dog that was over by the gate, so that if you got up and you went out there and that dog was barking crazy and acting a certain way, you knew that, oh, something is out here.
And see, and the thing too, you also offered, well, on the days you go to work, we'll just leave the gate open.
Yeah, that's right.
And so
some days we'll leave the gate open for you. We'll leave the lock unlocked for you.
So we were trying to be very accommodating, but the way you were presenting, that was the second thing that they said we hurt Tina so bad on.
Yeah.
And so the rest of what she was talking about was really just, in my opinion, things to make us look horrible. Like everything that we were doing on the land, she specified nothing was getting done. Tina, why was nothing getting done? Because we pulled together a community for people to work together. We weren't getting that help from everyone.
See, you believe it or not, you confirmed what we said in the first video, that we wasn't getting a lot of help from people. Mm-hmm. You see, that's why nothing was getting done, because we were not getting a lot of help from people.
Now, one brother, let me just stay in order here. We had a meeting one time, and we actually discussed this in one of our broadcasts when we were leading up to all this, before we even started the community. We said that we would like to start businesses or do things, develop things that we can all do as a community to generate income to alleviate the financial burden on any one person.
That's right.
That's what we discussed. So we discussed this in the meeting one time, and we asked everyone, we said, where do you all see yourself working with us? And she said, in her interview, she said, well, I thought that was a strange question. What do you mean? I mean, that's exactly what we mean. I mean, what position do you want to be in the community? Not as far as a job or whatever, but what can you do? What type of work will you be able to do to help us in the community?
Now I'll tell you where we were going with this, because we did a questionnaire. We had everybody fill out. Mm-hmm. And that questionnaire was so we can see if you're going to be working, helping in the garden, or whether you're going to be helping on the land or getting stuff done, or what can you bring to the table here, mm-hmm. right?
And we get there, and we're not seeing the things that we thought we were supposed to see.
That's right.
Okay, I can remember one day I asked Sister Tina if she could help me in the garden. She looks at me, and then she proceeds to walk over and help Sister Yedidah with something she was doing.
That's right.
And so this is the kind of thing we were dealing with. And I didn't want to spend this much time on this. We're just trying to shed some light on the things that we were going through,
right, exactly.
And to squash the whole notion that we hurt people on this land. As you see, is the exact opposite. We were the ones who were being, I don't want to say hurt, but we were the ones who were being mistreated.
Right.
I don't want to use the word hurt, because that's a strong word. That's the thing that pulled Joseph into this. Mm-hmm. Y'all hurting people on this land. No, people are mistreating us.
That's right.
We were the ones trying to pull this together, you see. Tina mentioned about the community center. So where's the community center? Y'all supposed to be building the community center.
We couldn't build a community center because we didn't have the funds to.
That's why
we had the business meeting with everybody, and we said, hey, we could come together and do business ideas, do things, build things, and maybe we can sell these things and come up with enough money so that we could build a community center. That's what that was about. But guess what? Because we didn't have the money, so you made mention about everything they were doing was just building on that house. That's all. They just remodeling that house. They remodeled the whole house and everything, right?
That's what you said.
That's what you said, right? But guess what? Why were we trying to fix the house up? Huh?
Okay, Shalom family. I'm showing this bit of a video right here because of the slander that is going on against us by a group that Kepha and Zakiya have pulled together. Now, if you all remember, what's her name? Tina in the video said that we remodeled the house, right? Okay, this is the house as it sits today, June the 15th. Okay, I believe it's the 15th or the 16th. Anyway, this is the house as it sits right now. She said we remodeled the house, right? I'm going to show you what we actually did. Remember, we used to have our Shabbat services in this room here. This is the living room. What we did, because the floor was in disrepair, we had to level the floor and just do just enough to get this room together for us to have a place to come and gather and eat and have Shabbat services and, you know, all of that good stuff. So in her mind, us getting this room together for all of us to gather and have a place to have our services, like I said, some of you all may remember my husband and I sitting in those two chairs to have Shabbat service, and everyone else would kind of be sprinkled around the room. We would bring in extra chairs and extra tables and all of that. But anyway, she said we remodeled the house. Okay, so if you put some paint on the walls, in which we're not even finished, we never even finished that wall. You put some paint on the walls, you remodeled the house, in which there is absolutely nothing wrong with us working on this house. But why were we doing this? Because we all needed a place to gather for our Shabbat services and our dinners, when we would all come together and have dinners and fellowship together. Because as they also stated, well, she said, well, we were supposed to have a community center. How was that community center supposed to come about, Tina? Is that one of those things that you were expecting our family to foot the whole bill on as well? Things cost money, in which, as was pointed out, a lot of people in the community weren't contributing money. You all had a problem with even giving money to even come to the community. So it sounds as if you all think everything was supposed to be free, that we were supposed to pay for everything, and that if we put any amount of time into trying to get a place together, in which this, like we said, this was our only choice as far as gathering to get this living room together. Okay. There was also mention of a dishwasher. She said, well, I thought we were supposed to be off grid though, but y'all got a dishwasher? Okay, let me go around in here. Now, some of this work that we've done in the kitchen is recent work that we've done. Okay, the dishwasher that Tina was lying about was a dishwasher. First of all, you don't see it there, do you? Second of all, and then see this floor, this just went down last...
about 2 days ago.
We just did this a few days ago, as far as the flooring. For the longest, this is what the floor looked like. The cement board or the concrete board. Now, let me tell you about the dishwasher she claimed that we had in here. That dishwasher was an old dishwasher that was already left in this house. It was ripped out and thrown in the trash. Okay? It was an old dishwasher. We never used that thing. And the reason why we never used it, because Watchman had to fix the plumbing too. The water in the sink area was not being used because the plumbing was out of whack. So yet again, you have someone speaking lies to make our family look bad, to make this ministry look bad. Tina, the dishwasher never worked. It was thrown in the trash. There's not even a sink in here right now. You see? And so this little thing that you have agreed to do with Kepha and them is wrong. We still haven't even finished this area. Oh, remodeled house. You said that the house was remodeled. No. Look at this house. This is an old house sitting on the property. And yes, we are trying to do work to get it together. But the initial work we did was to get that living room together so that we can all have a place to gather. And when we would all come together, we would cook in our trailers and bring the food to our gathering room there. So again, more deception coming from Kepha and crew.
If you look at some of our videos when we were at the land, where were we? In the living room. We were trying to fix the house up so that we can have a place that we can go and have Shabbat, have dinners, meetings and everything. We could come together like we was using the house like a community center.
So we can homeschool our children.
That's right.
Because we didn't have a place for all of that.
That's right. That's what it was for.
Because we couldn't afford the community center, because a lot of people on the land at that time didn't have the money to even contribute to such a project. That's why we were trying to have the business meetings, and we talked about different things that we can make. We know how to make cedar chests. I mean, we talked about all the things that we can do. We talked about making dog houses or anything that we could make as a community to sell.
Right.
And we talked about other things as well, so that we could afford to build a community center. And since none of that was coming together, because everyone had their own thing they were trying to do. We didn't remodel that whole house. We were trying to get that living room together. Then the complaint about coyotes. Anyone who moves to the country, you're going to encounter wildlife. So it seems like a lot of people were not ready for country living. If you're expecting to come to the country and not encounter wildlife, then this type of living is not for you.
It's not for you. Let me say something to you, right? In some areas, people have bears they have to deal with in the country. Some have wild boars, okay? Some have really big buck deers, There's all kinds of critters, raccoons, coyotes, some of everything out there, right? That's what country life is about. So if you're not ready to come to the country, if you're not ready to deal with critters and things, spiders, snakes, some of everything, then you don't want to go off grid and go to the country.
And my thing is this: why use this as an occasion to, like I said, we've covered the two things that she claimed, or that Kepha and them and Joseph claimed that we heard her on. As you see, it wasn't what you thought. Okay.
Right.
As far as the coyotes go, the only person who've seen a coyote, and it wasn't even on our land, it was across the street, was Watchman when he was out one night.
And this coyote was so far away, I had my real bright light on him, and I could see him, but my neighbor across the street, his land is really deep. He got a lot of acres, and this coyote was way in the distance on his land. And as soon as I shined my light on that dog, a coyote, he took off. I mean, he took off so fast running, getting away. Coyotes are very scared of people. They don't just come around people. Now, you may hear them in a distance, you know, a good long ways away, but they rarely just come around you. You understand?
If they do, and if you come about, they're just going to act like a skittish dog.
Yeah, and run away.
Okay, so again, it's ridiculous that we have to cover all of this stuff, but we're trying to shed some light on these damnable accusations that Kepha and Zakiya are putting out there and pulling other people into it who left us in Shalom.
That's right.
Another thing that Tina said was, now this was the thing that I did not understand. This was a bold, blatant lie, Tina, in which I'm going to show, or maybe I already showed it in the video. The dishwasher. You said we went out and got a dishwasher. And you said, I thought we said we was going to be off grid, but y'all got a dishwasher? Tina, that never happened. When we got that house, there was an old raggedy dishwasher already in the house. And guess what we did with it? We yanked it out and threw it in the trash. We were not using that dishwasher. As a matter of fact, even now, the sink in the kitchen still isn't hooked up. Nothing is hooked up in there yet. So for you to tell that bold, blatant lie that we're using a dishwasher, I just didn't understand that. You really could have just left that out. Yeah. But this is what we're trying to say here, that Kepha and Zakiya have pulled together people who are telling their side of the story, but they're not telling the full story, which is our side, okay, of how things really transpired. And then they're also adding things in there that never happened. We didn't go out and buy no dishwasher and use it to wash dishes there. We were washing dishes in our trailer just like everyone else. That dishwasher that was there, that old beat up dishwasher that was already there, was yanked up and thrown in the trash.
You know what I noticed too? I noticed that none of these people didn't say anything about the countless times that we helped them, doing things, feeding them, giving them money, doing other things for them. They don't tell you none of that stuff in their videos. Notice that.
None of that. Okay, and their little testimonies that this wicked testimony, this wicked thing that has been pulled together. They don't discuss those things. But anyway, also, I don't know if we mentioned, but Tina was a nurse, right? And we're going to talk about Brother Yedidah for a minute. We thought it was very strange, her being a nurse, and I don't know if this is what they are taught or not, but everyone thought he had pneumonia, okay? And Tina, one day, she says to Brother Yedidah, you need to come outside sometime to breathe in some of that cool air. And
it was cold outside, yes, really cold.
And so we were like, I don't know, Brother Yedidah, I don't know. I mean, she's a nurse, but I'm not really sure about that. And so one day, Yahoo and I, we saw Brother Yedidah coming out his trailer. He was about to get in his car and go somewhere. And my husband hollers out to him like, where you going, man? Whatever it is you need, we'll go get it, you know? And so I start walking over there towards Brother Yedidah, and my husband does too. And then Brother Yedidah, in a joking way, he says, uh-oh, here comes Mother. Because that's the kind of relationship we all had. We were very accommodating with trying to help him. Other people were helping him too. But I'm just letting you know because he had respect of us owning that land. And so he says, oh my goodness, here comes Mother. And we were saying, look, Brother Yedidah, if you need something from the store, we can go get it for you. We really don't want you out in the air like this, okay?
Right.
And so he said, yes, ma'am. And he went back in his trailer. And we went to the store for him. And so there's a picture that these people that pulled this thing together are trying to paint for you all. They're trying to paint this horrendous picture, because I noticed all of them, well, most of them, not all of them, but most of them kept going back to the issue of Yedidah. And they kept repeating things, because there's a witchcraft that is going on. There is a witchcraft that is going on with these people. They feel that if we, with the much spoken words and the repetition, the repeating of certain things,
certain words, that's right,
that it will cause people to believe what they are saying.
That's why he kept saying slander, slander, slander in the video. And you're going to see that what we testify, that there was no slander. Now let's keep on going with this, because I want you to see this. Now, one thing I want to show you here, okay, when Yedidah had gotten sick, because when he first got there he wasn't sick, and we didn't know if he was sick prior to that. We had no knowledge of that whatsoever. So when Yedidah came to the community, we were like, he was just like anybody else, you know. And then all of a sudden, after he got the solar panels done, he got a little chilly. The first chilly day, he got sick, and it just kept on. It
It's kind of like a runny nose.
Yeah, runny nose and coughing and stuff, you know. And so one day he called us over to the house, okay, to his place, to his trailer, yeah. And he called us, and he called Achiyahu and his wife, okay, me and my wife. And we had this talk with him, and I'll let you pretty much tell him what he said.
Well, when Brother Yedidah started to speak, he says, well, family, I just want to let you all know that I love you all. That was one of the first things he said. And everyone, we looked, and we're like, well, we love you too, brother, you know. And then he proceeds to tell us, he says, I'm sick. And then he starts to he didn't tell us what he was sick with, you know. He just told us he was sick. And then he says, I believe the Most High is going to take me. And we were like, well, brother, we can pray about this. You know, you don't have to die. You know, the basic talk that you would give someone, especially seeing that he just had a major cold.
Right.
To this day, we still don't know what the issue was. Okay.
Right.
But anyway, of course we're going to pray for him. Tina says there was no corporate prayer for him. Let me tell you what happened. Yeah. When Brother Yedidah called us over there, he says he didn't want Tina present because her ruach didn't agree with his ruach. So he didn't want her in there.
That's why you didn't know about us praying with him.
We didn't know before he came to our land. We didn't know when he got to our land. And so, of course, no one is thinking that our brother's going to pass away. Right. And so I see how they keep spinning the story about we broke our promise to him. We never promised Yedidah that he would be buried on the property because we didn't believe that he would die in the first place.
Yeah, and so that's
it's a lie to say that we promised that to him. We never promised that to him.
We never promised that to him. And one thing I want to say too is this here. When I said something to Yedidah, I said, man, you're not going to die. There's nobody prophesying. Okay, that was me speaking positive to this man. So when I looked at him, I said, Yedidah, you're not going to die. Come on now, let's think positive. Let's think about life, man. Let's talk about life, you know? And that's what, when we went there and we prayed with him, that's what it was about, okay? It was about, hey, let's talk about life. Let's believe life, okay? Let's not talk about death, okay? Let's say, I want you to repeat after me, I'm going to live. That's the kind of thing that we were doing with him. I want you to confess this and confess that, you know?
And so, you see how Achiyahu using this warlock mentality to try to spin that story a whole other way. Yeah, this was a brother, and we're going to talk later about, you know, everyone's trying to make it seem like they cared so much about Brother Yedidah. Our family is the only ones who cried when he died. I'm going to, we're going to talk about Yedidah's possessions too, because that's another thing that they harped on. I also want to talk about our brother Yedidah, in which it pains me to have to do this, but all of this deception that these people are putting forth is just, it's really ridiculous. This is our brother's vehicle as it sits, okay? This is his vehicle as it sits on the property here. And let me tell you something. They want to paint a picture that when Yedidah passed away that, oh, they just took all of his stuff and blah, blah, blah. We are the only ones who spoke with his family, okay? I've spoken with his mother and sister on several occasions. Let me show you where some of his other things are. This is a room that's in the house. Some of his things are still stacked over there in the corner, okay? Here's some of the food that was left in these big containers here, you see. Now, a lot of the other things, like the tissue and water and stuff like that he had, a lot of those things, and so some of his camping type things, a lot of those things were given to people in the community, like Kifa and another family that I'm not going to mention because they're trying to stay out of this. But a lot of his things that could be used were given to people in the community. A lot of the food items, those that weren't ruined, because it took us a while, unlike what Tina said, it took us a while to even go back into his trailer because it was too fresh for us. It was too painful, and we just really didn't have the time at that moment to deal with his items. So when we did go back in there, some of the food in the refrigerator had spoiled, and when it had gotten cold, some of the food that was like jars of pickles, anything that had water had actually burst open. Okay, some of the items that were left in his tent on the outside, like bags of food that he had, were actually torn into by little field mice. So those things were thrown in the trash. And I hate doing this. I hate even having to go through this length to explain ourselves in this, because we have these devilish people trying to paint this horrible picture in which some of Yedidah's things were given to them. Okay. The conversation we had with Yedidah's family, we are the only ones who spoke with them. As we were going over different things with them, they explained to us. We actually asked them, we said, when are you all going to come and get Yedidah's things? We showed you the car and the trailer and everything. They are older. His sister's older, so is his mom. And the sister said to us, she said, well, first of all, this is thousands of miles away. She says, we really have no use for those things. Consider them a donation to your ministry. This is what she said. Consider it a donation to your ministry. And so these food items, we were going to put in our food pantry or storage for the community. And that's why they still sit here. That big box of foil or plastic wrap and all of that other stuff and some other items down in the box, same thing. We're going to be put in the storage. And right now, this is serving as the storage for some of his things. You see the boxes of tissue and things like that there, still here to be used. But these people would have you to believe we just went in and just took all of Yedidah's things. First of all, we were given the right to do that by his family. So as you see, this is the typical Negro mindset. Mm-hmm. A person dies. Where is all his stuff? Now let's talk about the money aspect. These people are trying to imply that we took Yedidah's money. I will tell you how things went down when our brother passed away. And what saddens me is some of these wicked people know this. Tina was standing right there when we opened the door and found our brother. My husband was the first one to go in, and he went in there. He came out of the door crying because he saw this man in his bed, deceased. He came right out, and I just peeked my head in for one moment and saw our brother lying there. Now, Tina stood there with us the whole time. We did not re-enter into that place. We did not re-enter into that place for a very long time. That's why a lot of the food was able to spoil. And so let me tell you what did happen immediately when we called the authorities. When they got here, what they did was they went in, they assessed the situation. The coroner actually came and told us the money that he removed. And when he found out that we were not Yedidah's immediate family, he says, well, we will send this money to his family. The only money that was left inside of that trailer was a ashtray. I'm sorry, it was a plate. It wasn't an ashtray because he didn't smoke. While he was here anyway, I don't know if he's ever been a smoker, but there was a plate, a metal plate that had maybe $3 or $4 worth of change. And any other items that were left in there. His sister actually asked for certain items. She said, well, you all can send us this, that, and the other, which were personal items that they knew that he had that would have been beneficial to the family. And so this picture that they're trying to paint, that somehow this brother had money that we got. Even when we found a satchel that he had, she asked for the satchel. There was some debit cards in there. All of that was sent to his family. And so you have these wicked people trying to imply things and paint an evil picture to draw up a false evil report, because they are upset that our brother's things defaulted to us because that is what the family wanted. That's why we showed you the car, because they had no desire to come thousands of miles to get it. Okay. And as for the trailer, the same thing. It defaulted to us. She said, consider it a donation to your ministry. But again, the typical Negro mindset is to scramble around for things or possessions of a person after they pass away. And it's amazing to me how everyone is pretending like they cared so much. And our family was the only one who cried. Tina didn't even cry. She stood right there. She saw when they were bringing his body out. And she didn't shed one tear. But yet, the pretense is that there was all of this love and concern for him. And while they keep saying all these things to try to imply things against us, and the Most High knows that these people are just being devilish and liars. Harped on. This is a very devilish thing that Zakiya and Keefa has pulled together. And I don't understand why these other people allow themselves to be pulled into this nonsense. Right. We're going to talk about Yedidah's possessions. For the record, our family was the only family that was in contact with Yedidah's family. We contacted them, spoke with the sister first. I already talked about that in our previous video, and we spoke with the mother. When we spoke with them, we asked them, what about Yedidah's things? Are you all going to come and get Yedidah's things? Because he had a trailer, a car, and then he had the things that were in his trailer and in his tent. And so let me tell you something. When Yedidah passed away, I would say my husband walked in, he saw Yedidah's body in the bed, and he came out and he said, oh my God, I think he's dead. He said, baby, call 911. And so I just peeked in for like a few seconds, and that was the extent of the time that we spent in his trailer before the authorities got in there. So
it was only like a couple of minutes that I went in there and saw that he was dead. Okay.
Exactly.
So now the coroner comes, and first the ambulance comes to check his body with police. They came, they look at him and everything. Now they went in there and they brought out what? His money and a couple of other boxes.
They spent, I would say, probably an hour and a half to 2 hours in there.
That's right.
Okay. But
searching this place. That's right.
Tina was standing right there too.
That's right.
And so for her to say that we went all through his trailer and stuff, this woman is lying.
Yep.
To paint a certain picture. She stood there when the coroner came out and said he took the money that he found in there.
Yeah.
And he said that
the coroner said this. That's right.
And he said he's going to send it to the family once we get in touch with them, because at that time we had no contact with him.
That's right.
And we also asked him, well, can you use his cell phone to try to get some information from her number, because he was on her plan, her cell phone plan. And so we said, can you use her number to try to track them or whatever? Mm-hmm. And they said, well, it would take too much to try to unlock the phone to do all of that and do all of this. And so basically, Tina stood there also when the police came out with 2 boxes of Yedidah's possessions. But this picture that they painted to you all is as if Yedidah had a bunch of money in there, which Tina already testified that he told her that he was running out of money.
Sister Tina, did he tell you that he had money that was sent to him from his sister and it was in the trailer too?
He told you know what, he was concerned about running out of money. And we were talking in the trailer one day. I said he was thinking about just going to go back you know, I say, well, don't do that. You know, he was kind of a little bit, you know, kind of, you know, down a little bit, you know, and that was, he says that his money was getting depleted a little bit. And he was just, you know, wondering if he was going to be, you know, be able to make it out there.
Yeah.
And so.
That's right.
And Zakiya threw this in there. Where would she get this information from? Is another planting of information of something that was never talked about among anyone. Who would talk about these things? Where would this information come from? It's a planting of information to bring about a perception. Well, she asked her, she said, well, did he say that his sister was sending him more money? We already know for a fact that his sister wasn't sending him any more money.
That's right, because she said she was not sending him any more money.
She had already funded his trip here.
That's right.
And she, when we talked to her, they didn't even have the money to try to come and get his things. That was one of the issues.
Yeah, she couldn't. She said, first of all, I don't have the money to come and get it, and I have no place to put all of this stuff.
Once we bring it back.
Yeah.
And so when Zakiya put that question out there was another planting of thought to try to cast a shadow of doubt on us. The only money that we found in Yedidah's trailer was this plate that he had. And it had, I would say, about $3 or $4 worth of change on this plate.
Yeah.
That was the extent of it. And so to try to paint this picture, which I see a lot of witchcraft going on, with manipulation going on with these testimonies that you people have put out. The Most High sees this, and he sees your hearts. This is the kind of thing that angers the Most High. This is wickedness. You all are doing some very wicked things. Kifa, Zakiya, Achiyahu, Yedidah, and Tina. You all are doing some very wicked things with doing this here.
That's right.
With doing this here. This is very wicked, and the Most High is going to deal with this wickedness because this is not something that the children of Israel should be doing. And you're blasting this out all over the internet to try to get people to disregard your first false witness testimony. Like I said before, the truth disintegrated those lies, and now we're giving you the truth again to disintegrate these pack of lies.
I'm going to tell you something else that she said in her video to try to make us look bad again, okay? Now, when we were hooking up a lot of the campers to the electricity, what ended up happening was it almost started a fire in the house because there's too much load, too much electricity was going out to these campers because people were running their heaters and stuff in there, their refrigerators. And so we were like, we almost started a fire in the house. So I had to cut the power to the entire house because I was afraid that it was going to start a fire. Because it already literally started a small burnout in the insulation, and the cord was totally disintegrated, you know, up in the attic. And so when I had to cut the power, Sister Tina made a statement in her video as if, are you about to cut the power? And Brother Yedidah, he's sick, and you about to cut the power and all this. What am I supposed to do? Okay, now when I cut the power, it was only cut for less than an hour because I was trying to figure out what breakers could I cut off and which ones I could leave on so I could figure out what was going on. So he got his power back immediately, but you try to paint a picture like we just went in there and just, I don't care if he's sick, cut the power.
But let me tell you something
like
too.
that.
Let me tell you something too. Brother Yedidah wasn't hooked up to anything. He didn't have no breathing machines or anything.
He sure did. He didn't have no breathing machine. As a matter of fact, he had for heat. He had what was it?
A little portable heater.
The little portable heater that he's heating in the living room where it was extremely hot. Each time you went in this place, it was extremely hot. Mm-hmm. You know, but you know that's the kind of image that they're trying to paint.
The kind of manipulation.
That's
I want to
right.
say this too. Brother Yedidah had his own solar panels, right?
Sure did.
But there was a brother who was getting something out of his tent for him, and he tripped over something that was connected to the solar panels. And Brother Yedidah told us, look, my solar panels ain't working. Can I get tapped back into the house? Now, mind you, when we had to cut the power for a moment, we went over there and told him. He said, sure, no problem.
That's
he
right.
didn't have an issue with it because he wasn't hooked up to anything.
Yeah.
So the perception that Tina was trying to put out there is that we were putting a sick man in jeopardy.
Yeah, like he was on some breathing machines or something like that. It wasn't even like that.
This is the kind of wickedness that's going on with this whole thing, dealing with these people. That is what we have been dealing with. this is a spiritual warfare that we're engaged in, family. And if you look back at some of my videos on my channel, Black Education TV, you will see exactly what I'm talking about, because some of the things we were dealing with, I was actually talking about in the videos. You see, I wasn't relaying names or anything. I was just talking about the spiritual battle and different things like that. Because we were going through some intense spiritual warfare dealing with these people on this land. I mean, it was off the chain, family. And as you see, it's still off the chain.
Yeah. Now, another thing I want to talk about, too, is you mentioned something about you gave money for some tools. You gave $100 for some tools, okay? And the tools were so that once we did get started building a community and building things, we would have the tools to do so, okay? Now, newsflash, Sister Tina, okay? Who has the tools? Kiefer has the tools. I don't have those tools.
He took them with him when he left.
He took them with him when he left. Okay?
You had mentioned that you gave us money and it was only $100, Tina.
And
you
then
said
we were throwing it into the house. No, we didn't throw it into the house. We brought the tools. It went in on the tools, and Kiefer has those tools.
And so again, all of this information that's being put out there to paint us in a bad light. We didn't want to have to do this, Sister Tina, because we left on Shalom. I'm sorry, you left in Shalom with us.
Yes.
This was the last thing we wanted to do. We didn't want to embarrass you in any way. Sister Tina, we loved you. We took you into our home. We treated you like family. So we did not understand why you were doing this, but we have to defend ourselves. We were forced to do this. We have to defend ourselves. I mean, you were talking about the privacy fence. We never said we were putting up a privacy fence. Have you ever priced out how much it would cost to put up privacy fence around all that land? We never said we were going to put up a privacy fence. We just said we were going to put up a fence, on which we did, to keep anyone from just walking up on the land.
And to keep any animals or something from coming from that side of the street over to our side.
And so this whole thing about where did that come from? That was never said. We never said that we would do that. And as far as the tax on the trailers, why did you even mention that, especially knowing that you were leaving the property at that time?
Yeah.
That was one of the things that the city had said, because we had all these trailers, that there would have to be a tax assessed for each trailer. And we ended up getting the notice back just a few weeks ago. They didn't raise the tax much at all. When I saw the notice, I said, well, thank you. Yeah, I was concerned about how much it was going to actually raise the tax. It didn't raise it much at all. I think it was only like $1,300 that the assessed value of the house was raised, and it only raised the taxes just a matter of dollars, the taxes on the property. So I thank y'all for that, but you all, it's like you packed a whole lot of information into a video to make it seem like there was this huge thing. Most of what you were saying was just complaining and putting us down for how things went on.
Trying to make us look like we're some villains of some sort.
Mm-hmm. And then you made mention of why we did a video about Sylvester, but we didn't do one about Yedidah. Okay, first of all, we wanted to have respect for Yedidah's family.
That's right.
And so at the time we hadn't talked with him, we didn't know what to expect when we finally got it, because it took us a minute to try to locate them. And so out of respect for his family, and most of you don't know him anyway, we were doing this out of respect for his family. That's why we hate that we're having to defend ourselves against this attack that you all have now. And we even have to discuss Yedidah. This man died, okay? He came to our land to die because he felt at peace with our family. And you all are using very devilish tactics.
That's right.
Using this to try to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's funny, too, once you talk about the fees. Tina mentioned that she didn't know nothing about no fees. Tina was sitting right here in our dining room when we were talking to another family about the amount to move to the property.
That's right.
She was sitting right there in our dining room. But my thing is this, so it sounds like you, Tina, think that everything was supposed to be free, that we weren't supposed to charge anything for people coming onto the land, that we were supposed to do all the work. You said, in one breath, you say that we were all supposed to be working together. And then you say nothing's getting done. And we were like, that's our point. Nobody's helping us. You see, we were getting very little help.
That's right. It seemed like the people that we had in our community felt like they weren't supposed to pay any fee and that they weren't supposed to do any work. And that was the problem we were having, you know, with that, you know. And those that did pay a fee, like Kiefer paid a fee, well,
he got his fee back. And so basically, you and Zakiya lived on us for 6 months for free.
For free, yeah, absolutely.
Now, what's funny is Achiyahu even mentions in his testimony that we discussed the fee with him. At the time, we didn't discuss an amount, but we did discuss having a fee with him.
That's right.
And so all of this stuff about we never discussed that, yes, we did. And the thing is this, you should have expected to pay a fee anyway. And also for you, Tina, you didn't contribute toward the utilities, okay? You didn't use the electricity, but you were using the water, you see? And so this is the kind of stuff that we've been dealing with, family. We're going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. Try to get through this as quickly as possible because this is ridiculous. And also the letter. Everyone's claiming that they never saw the letter that we got from the county. By this time, Tina was already leaving. So why are you even talking about that? You were already leaving.
You were already leaving.
Kiefer and Zakiya was sitting over at the house with us at the table when we had the letter.
That's right.
And so this whole thing about supposed letter and all this stuff, they were sitting right there when we were going over the letter. And the letter was basically outlining the things that we needed to do to turn this into an RV park. It was a big yellow envelope. As a matter of fact, it's sitting up there right now. Okay? And so, again, all of this deception being plastered. As I read the comments on people who are sharing this video, a lot of people are disgusted by what you all have done. And I hate to say it, now that we are putting out the real truth, it's going to really make you all look even worse because we didn't have to go here.
Yeah.
None of this all of this stuff had already been discussed at the land. There's no smoking gun here. There's no newsflash revelation here. This is all little small things that you have all elevated.
You elevated this stuff and blew this stuff up like it's an atomic bomb. And we talking about something simple as your trailer not sitting where you want it to be sitting, and the person we asked to move it didn't move it. So now that's what you heard about, or you heard about this over here, and you heard about these minor things, you know.
It kind of reminds me of this. Imagine a 3-year-old child getting a crayon and going to write on the wall, okay? And imagine the parent, this is the things, the offensive that you all claim that we had, right? This is what this equates to. A child writes on the wall with a crayon, and the parent's reaction is this: you have destroyed this house. Look at you've ruined everything. This house is no more good.
It's against Torah.
That's the equivalent of it. You've taken these small matters to make it seem like we've hurt people who have actually, what was the word I used? I didn't want to say hurt, who have actually disrespected us. Okay? Now, I want to just mention this quick little thing, which I think is so simple. I'm going to read this post right here real quick too. Brother Kiefer left a comment on our video that we put up about this matter. And he says, "We never lied. The truth will be exposed. The trailers were there October. I helped the brother back his trailer onto the land. We talked to your parents in their trailer." He's responded to a liar. "And another brother delivered Yedidah's trailer that you purchased on his behalf."
Listen to what he said.
Now all the videos with the timestamp are missing. No, they're not. You were looking on the wrong channel. As a matter of fact, you found the videos and you all are using it in this little thing that you've done. But you accused us of taking those videos down. We had no reason to take them down.
See how you accused?
There were people who got to your land. I remember because you posted it on Black Education TV. Why did you take down all those videos? As I pointed out, we did not take down the videos. They were on our family channel.
Listen to the paranoia here.
Okay,
right?
But anyway, I read the other comment where he said there were videos there in October. We already showed that there were, I'm sorry, not videos, trailers. We already showed in our previous video that the family from Texas came in October. We already showed that. We're not refuting that. What we're saying is that at the time of your visit, all of those trailers were not there. We think that you're getting it mixed up with as a matter of fact, let me just read my response to you, brother. I said, brother, we already said in the video that the Texas family moved their trailer there in October. October has 31 days. And at the time of your visit, all of those trailers were not there. You all were sitting on the porch with us, and the land was not lined with trailers at that time. I think you're mixing up your visits. One trailer showed up while we were all sitting on the porch, and they only stayed a few days. That's Tobiahu's trailer. Later in the month, the Texas crew showed up. Also, you are a bit mixed up about Yedidah's trailer. None of this matters. So what is the point that is being made here? And I said, no disrespect to you either, brother. I was just responding to this because you have misinformation about Yedidah too. We didn't buy his trailer on his behalf. Yedidah went and bought his own trailer, and we
the other brother that delivered his trailer is me.
We because he had a car, we took our van and took him and we picked it up.
That's
so again, all of this misinformation, brother, that you all are putting out there, and I'm wondering if you were getting fed information by Achiyahu, because you weren't there when Yedidah first got to the land. Your family had not gotten there yet. So what are you talking about? Okay. Okay. Now.
Okay, Achiyahu. Now I wanted to discuss you now. We done with the Tina thing. Okay, let's talk about you, Achiyahu. Okay. I noticed that when you did your rant, okay, in the video, I noticed you didn't mention that you were getting set out. And that we took you in.
Your family, your whole family.
Your whole family was getting set out, and we took you in. As a matter of fact, that ain't the only time that we did things for you. We sent you money before when you were staying in your van. Your whole family was staying in your van, and we sent you some money then.
We found out about that through a mutual friend that we all have. They told us that you all were having trouble. At the time, we hadn't met you all. This was a few years ago, and they told us that you all were having trouble, and we sent you some money even then. Even then,
that's right. And so I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, well, I wonder how come you not mention those things? Huh? How come you didn't mention that when your windshield was broke, that we gave you money to help you with your windshield? I wonder how come you don't mention none of those things, but you want to mention these other things that you feel that we have violated the Torah?
As a matter of fact, I gave the money to your wife. I gave the money to your wife when one of your children broke your vehicle glass, and you all were headed back to Texas. Okay.
That's right.
I gave your wife some money. You keep saying to us that we need to repent because we're violating Torah. This whole thing that you all have set up is a violation,
of Torah.
You are slandering us. You're accusing us of slander because we have a meeting in which we point out things that people have said that they actually admit to saying.
That's right.
That is not slander. But you all are slandering us. You're lying on us. You're using witchcraft and manipulation. Yes, you are, to try to make a point. That's so right. You are in violation of Torah.
Yeah, and you know what gets me? You said repent. Repent for what? And then when I listen to the things that you talk about that we need to repent for, I'm sitting there shaking my head, you know. But let's get through this. Let's finish. Let's just hit every point here.
Now, you said that you all would have never left your home. You said some of you left your homes and your family and stuff.
And then you said we never would have left our homes, right? That's the statement you made. You were getting set out again. But you see how you worded things in that video? You never would have left. You were getting set out, and it's a fact, and you know it. And we ain't the only ones that know this to be a fact.
So, brother, you are the one who are spewing out lies, and we're going to point out some more lies that you told. We hit on it in the last video, but at that time we were withholding your names because we were still at that time trying to be protective. But since you all have opened up the door to this, then we're going to take it all the way and give our side of the story too.
Yep. Now,
and for the record, we loved your family too. We really did. Yep. And it's amazing to me that you all have done this. What I find amazing, when we talk with you all and Keith and everyone about the things that had happened on the land, when we talked about these things, like we said, this was a discussion because you all are members of the community. It's a normal thing. What's funny is I find it funny that you all are discussing all of this stuff with the whole world, but you're taking offense to us discussing things with the community. But you all do not make public the things that you all have said in certain situations.
You're not righteous.
You're not righteous.
You're not righteous
exactly.
in the way you're dealing with things. Now, I remember when you said this, okay? And you know you said this. But when we all found out what had happened, that things were leaked out about us on the land, right? You made this statement about the person. You said, that is a wicked woman.
Those were your words.
Those were your words.
We were discussing this thing because at the time, and we already discussed this with the sister, and we already resolved this, or so I thought. How we felt about it, we were hurt by that.
We were hurt, we were upset.
And we voiced that to her and her husband, and they apologized.
And you were upset too, that's why you made that statement.
That's why
right?
we made that statement. And Kiefer and his family pretended to be upset as well. As a matter of fact, when we were discussing all of this, and this is a statement, I remember Sister Zakiya used to talk about how she was when she was younger. And this is what her statement reminded me of. She said that this sister had called her up one time, the sister that we're referring to here, okay, that actually talked. When we were all discussing actually confronting them, we all said, well, I think we should confront them, right? And we said we'll confront them in our own time. And we had our reasons in which we already explained what our reasons were. In this discussion, Zakiya mentioned that the sister had asked her to press her hair or straighten her hair or whatever. The sister has very long hair. And Sister Zakiya's response was, I'll cut it for you. And I thought to myself that was, okay, that is a little thuggish to make a statement such as that.
I'll cut your hair off.
And so you all are spouting off things that we discuss on the land, but you're not talking about the things that you all have discussed or the things that you all have said, but you're going to these very people to try to pull them into something that was resolved a long time ago. Okay? Now, we're going to try to go ahead and get through this mess because it's getting too long. It's getting too long.
Okay. Now, Achiyahu, first of all, your word can't be trusted. Okay? It just can't be trusted. You were caught in lies. Okay? As a matter of fact, one of the lies you were caught in, okay, happened on our property, and there were witnesses to your lie. And when we caught you in the lie, you got all angry and all upset, you were mouthing off so loud in the conference call until no one could say anything for a good 5 or more minutes. We all sit there, you just hollering and all of this stuff, you know, because you were caught in a lie. Because y'all were caught in a lie.
Okay, one of the things in which this was one of the reasons why we had a meeting with the people on the land. You were over in Texas at the time, so we had you on conference call. And the lie was the fact that your wife had told another sister that they had sent money to us to give to them.
Right.
You all told this lie, and so this family was upset at us. It was you claimed that you sent $50 for them, and you didn't. Right.
And so the family was upset at us, thinking that we took the money and didn't give it to them.
Now, mind you, this is a family that was had some financial difficulties, and this is also a family that we were feeding. We had bought propane for them. We bought parts for their RV when they were having some financial difficulties. So why would we take $50 from them, right? But this is the lie that your wife told, and it was Kiefer and his wife that actually came to us and told us that they overheard your wife saying this to this other couple.
Right.
Okay?
And both the other couple and Kiefer and his wife verified that that's what they said.
Right? Now, you had sent us money a whole month before. A whole month. And the reason why you sent us money is because
For two things.
we had said, look, brother, when my husband talked to you, he said, your dogs keep getting off. This was before Sylvester had died. Your dogs keep getting off. We have to keep going to retrieve them. Their chains are not strong enough. They done ran out of food. We've been feeding them our dogs food for the past few weeks. And so we were like, and then also we hadn't got anything from you all on the utilities for the previous months. And so we were like, brother, look, you have to send us X amount of dollars. You all sent us the money that we asked for. And so a whole month goes by, and there was an issue where it was getting cold and it was raining some days, and only one of your dogs had a house. And so the brother who's taking care of your dogs, or helping us take care of the dogs too, Watchman said, hey brother, can you put some pallets together so this dog have some shelter? And so the brother went out there to do it. He was a little frustrated. His wife got more frustrated, and that's when she called Yedidah. And she said, look, you all have been gone longer than you said you were going to be gone. You all are going to have to send us some money for taking care of these dogs like this. Now, mind you, the money that you all sent us for the dogs was the exact money that we asked for.
Yeah.
That is the exact money we asked for. You never said that any of that was for them. Like we said, this was a whole month ago. So you lied and said that, well, I already sent money for the dogs. They were supposed to give you $50.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a lie.
We had only asked you for $70 for the dogs, and you sent us $70 for the dogs.
That's right.
And so you told a lie. And when Kiefer came to us about it, my husband called.
I called and got you on the phone and made you and asked you what did I ask you for? I mean, how much money did I ask you to send both times? And I said, isn't that what you sent? And isn't that what it was for? And he said, yes. You agreed with me 100%.
And so we said, you have to tell these people this to make this thing right.
Yeah, well, so we got in a conference call because I was like, well, you got to let these people know that y'all didn't give us no money to give them, because right now you got us looking like we a thief for $50. I said, so you got to talk to them.
And so when it came up in the meeting where you all were on conference call, when that subject came up, you and your wife literally threw that sister under the bus